Welcome back to the 8th episode of Undercover Weebs podcast. This episode, going to be talking about the most emotional, the most heartbreaking, the most...
Episode 8, let's get it!
I don't have any more synonyms.
Most emotional moments in all of anime. There's so many. This is kind of what makes anime good. And mine and AK's lists are about to differ drastically because this is kind of his cup of tea. I'm more into the Chad-esque anime with a lot of action and shit.
This is where you're going to notice our taste differences really distinctly definitely. For the first time.
AK is the more cultured man.
Yeah,
in this regard.
I've seen a few more weebier shows than Noah has. And the weebier shows tend to hit harder in the feels than your classic shonens and your... even though, I mean, shonens can still hit, but...
Yeah, dude, the reason I don't like weeby shows is because when I started watching anime, I said this in a previous video, I got put on Welcome to the NHK from a YouTuber that I was watching, and that shit was the worst thing I've ever seen. And I was like, fuck this, weeby stuff sucks. I'm scarred. I could
see if you start off with something bad, then you're just never going to want to go back to it.
But once you told me to watch Death Parade, it might have opened the door a tad. But
yeah,
we'll get into that later.
I wouldn't really consider that even like a weeby show, though, because that's just like different. It's like not a shonen, but it's also not like a slice of life.
Should I start with my honorable mentions?
Yeah, we do have 5. We're structuring this.
A lot of mine are
top 10, but
yeah, a lot of mine are from One Piece, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. That's why I'll just start it off quick. But I feel like One Piece actually has so many emotional moments. Like it's ridiculous how many they have.
At least like once every arc or saga.
Yes,
there's a good 1 or 2.
Some emotional moments that stick out to me though. Just like when I think about it off the top of my head, what sticks out is Zoro's pledge to never lose again after losing to Mihawk. I thought that was an awesome moment. I also think there's some moments you haven't seen yet. Like there's a part where Luffy kind of finds himself after certain events happen and he realizes that he does have something to live for, and that's his crew. That part was also just super emotional and heavy.
He uses his brain for once.
He does, and it was really cool. There's a return of a certain character. That part hit pretty heavy with Luffy. And there's also Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. You haven't met him yet, but his backstory is extremely intense. And there's just so many moments that I could think of right off the top of my head, so I just wanted to go over a few. And another one I got, AK, from JoJo's. Gotta throw a meme in there. The Death of Danny, Season 1. Oh!
I can't even remember who Danny is.
He's the dog, bro!
Oh! Come on, you put that one in there? But I was expecting the death of Shigichi. That hit different.
Shigichi grabs the door handle, vaporized.
I hated that kid so much. But then when he died, I was like, maybe I didn't hate him so much.
Nah, there's just a lot of sad deaths in JoJo's. Iggy's probably hit the hardest for me personally.
I don't know. I didn't really like Iggy either, but
what the fuck? His was so sad.
I don't even remember how he died.
He was getting stomped by that guy who could vaporize stuff like inside his mouth. He had like a.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then he saved Polnareff, so Polnareff could kill him.
Polnareff gets saved a lot in part 2.
Gets saved by Abdel twice and Iggy. God damn. And then I was gonna say, have you ever seen the anime Akame ga Kill?
I've heard of it.
There's some pretty emotional moments in that. Like the first episode, I was like, "What the fuck? This is dark." And then there's a couple character deaths that are super impactful as well in that. But that's it for my honorable mentions. Creating this list was actually kind of hard for me.
Well, it was like the easiest list I've ever created.
Yeah, so you can take away your honorable mentions now.
All right, so I guess my honorable mentions aren't in any structure. My first one is like the end of Promised Neverland, where you get Isabel's backstory, where you realize that like she's just doing everything to survive.
Yeah.
That was kind of heavy.
That was.
Next one is my personal favorite part of Black Clover, which is a smaller arc where they go to the witch's forest. And it's Vanessa's arc, and it's where they're all like hanging on crosses, and Asta's cutting them down, like not the crosses but the people.
Yep.
Like, he's just murking him, and then Vanessa finally gets like her red thread of fate.
That
And
was
then
that was a good moment. That was a pretty cool arc, except for that fight between Asta and that chick was horrible.
Black Clover really succeeds in the fact that like their power system allows characters to come up with new powers when they're in like their biggest time of need, and I think that helps the show emotionally.
I agree. Yeah.
One of the few that is going to come up for Mob Psycho when Mob is getting bullied, when he goes into like do the exorcism for that one girl, and he like goes into like her dreams
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
when he's getting bullied. That I just feel so sad for him.
Oh my god, I kind of forgot about that part. Yeah, that was really sad. Everything was just going wrong for Mob. Wasn't he in there for like 9 months or
He's
some
in there
shit?
for a long time. Well, like in the outside world, I think it was just like a couple of minutes, but like
No,
in
yeah.
the dream,
It felt like 9 months to Mob or something.
if he was literally living his actual life in the
Yep.
story, being bullied for several months, like ruthlessly bullied. Yeah, I thought that was hard to watch, to be honest. A lot of these on my list are things that I almost don't want to see again, especially like my number 1 and number 2. Like, I don't think I'll watch those shows because I don't think I want to hurt like that, especially in my number 1.
Yeah.
That's all I have for my honorable mention, so you can start your top 10.
My top 10, number 10, it's from Code Geass, even though I haven't finished it yet. It's Euphemia's and Shirley's death. They both were pretty impactful. I did not see Shirley's death coming at all, really.
They were both kind of deaths that I didn't expect, especially in the moment that they happened.
Yeah.
Those were both times that Lelouch kind of did a small brain move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just kind of wasn't thinking.
Well, he accidentally did it to Euphemia, right?
Yeah.
And then
Shirley's was a little bit different. That was more purposeful. But when he accidentally did it to Euphemia, on the inside I was like, why? Like, no way this is happening.
Yeah, I was just like, Lelouch, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
he had some little brain moves in there along with all the big brain moves, but
you know what happens. It happens to the best of us.
my number 10 is also from Mob Psycho. And this is a part from Mob Psycho that you can really just look at Mob and be like, you can learn how to live from this guy because he's just like the ideal person.
Yeah, Mob's great. He's a great dude.
And my number 10 is from like the mini girlfriend arc where he's with Emmy, and like Emmy gives her book to her friends thinking that they were gonna think it's like cool, but then they just rip it up and like make fun of her, and she's obviously very upset about it, but she's not gonna like do anything or say anything to him about it because she wants to be cool. And then Mob starts picking up the pieces.
Yeah, she was quite upset, and he fixed it with his psychic abilities. Yeah, that scene hit different.
And then they pick up all the one thing I didn't really ever understand about that scene, other than like obviously it helps the emotional impact of the scene, is like they spend all the time physically picking up the pieces, but then they just set them on a random spot on the ground.
Yeah, then he just fixes it.
Yeah, then he just uses his psychic abilities and puts it all back together. But that part hit pretty well.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Oh my god, I just thought of one that's in my honorable mentions. Sorry, it just popped into my brain randomly. There's this part in One Piece where literally like hundreds of these things called mink get tortured. Like they get their limbs cut off. It's so dark, bro. And they're all doing it because one of the Big Mom pirates goes to try to find this guy that the minks are supposed to be hiding. And so literally like these hundreds of minks, they're like missing limb, they were tortured, a bunch of them were crucified, but like they still survived.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, he's not here. We don't know what you're talking about. So this Big Mom pirate was just torturing these mink. And then all of a sudden, this guy shows up, and he's like, where is my friend, the one that the Big Mom pirates were looking for? And this whole time, you think that they weren't hiding him. And the whole, like, these hundreds of mink got tortured just to save and hide this one guy. And you have to watch that moment in the anime because that shit hit so heavy. Oh my god. I can't wait till you get there. Sorry, it just
Honestly, as
popped into
I've
my head.
another side note, as I've been reading One Piece, I feel like I kind of almost want to watch it along on the anime because I feel like I'm missing a lot on the anime.
Yeah, it's some of the moments are more impactful with the anime.
Is
Definitely.
definitely, and sometimes it's hard to like tell what's going on in a fight scene when you're not like actually watching it instead of reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You can go ahead with your number 9.
My number 9 is Jiraiya's death from Naruto.
I forget who Jiraiya is.
I don't. He was
I'm
in
not a big
Shippuden.
Naruto guy. Oh,
He
so it happened in Shippuden. Then I.
yeah, he was kind of Naruto's father figure. Like, I don't know. He was like Naruto sensei for a while, taught him how to go into sage mode and stuff, and was a trainer of Naruto, and they just really bonded. Like during the time skip in Naruto, like in between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, he
Mm-hmm.
was with Jiraiya, and Jiraiya was honestly probably my favorite character in the show, one of them at least, top 2 or 3, probably number 1. But yeah, his death, spoiler I guess, but Naruto's been out for so long, I don't care. But he dies, and it was such an impactful scene because you just know, like, he was so important to the story, and he carried so much weight with Naruto because they were such homies, and his death just hit different. It was super sad. You haven't seen it, so I
No,
guess you wouldn't really
I'm.
get it, but it was very intense.
I'll probably end up picking up Naruto again sooner or later, just because like I feel like I need it for the culture. But it's just not really my cup of tea. I guess it's good for especially an older shonen.
Yeah, it is pretty good. A lot of filler, but you can go ahead with your next one. I just wanted to put
Yeah,
that out there.
sure. My number 9 is from a show that I'm pretty sure like I'm one of the 10 people in the world that actually watched it. And I feel like a lot of people have actually seen this clip. It's from Karakuri Circus. I think you've seen the clip actually. It's like when the main character's name is Masaru and he goes back to school for the first time, and like before this he was literally like being tortured in a house, and then he like escapes with this guy that's like, or like he wasn't being tortured, he was being like chased after, and then he got like all injured and stuff, and then this guy named Narumi like saves him, and that guy dies saving Masaru. And when he gets back to school, like kid is maybe like 10, 11 years old, and he goes back to school and he's just getting ruthlessly bullied at school, but like all of his scars are covered up with it, like he's wearing a long sleeve t-shirt and like a headband. And finally, like he's getting bullied the whole day at school, and one of the kids finally hits him hard enough that his headband falls off, and then he just gets like a super savage mode look in his eyes, and you can see his giant scar on his forehead. And then he takes his shirt off and says like, "There's nothing you can do that is worse than what I've already been through." And like you see all of his scars.
Oh no, I actually have seen that clip. It's in like a classroom,
Yeah, it's
and he
in
just
the.
stands up and like takes his shirt off. Yeah, I've actually seen that clip, and he's scarred up. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have seen that specific clip
Mm,
from from Karakuri Circus, and that's actually the clip that made me want to watch the show because I'd never heard of it up until like I was probably surfing through Instagram one day, and it was just like that clip.
the show sounds interesting. Was it good?
It was good for the first season. Actually, I think it is only is one season, but it's like 30 some episodes long. But for like the first half, it was pretty good, but then the pacing got really bad,
Gotcha.
which happens a lot. It was on Amazon, which is probably why nobody's ever seen it.
That is, God, Amazon's got some sleepers that not a lot of people watch.
It does, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend the show.
Gotcha.
So it was just one part from the show that was really good, which was that
hmm
part.
Yeah, that scene is actually pretty cool. It's all over YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I can kind of relate because I've seen that clip. That's the sole clip I've seen.
A lot of people have seen only that clip.
My number 8 is tied. It's Grave of the Fireflies and Steins Gate, both just tragic, like basically downhill stall. Grave of the Fireflies is just completely downhill the whole fucking movie,
Yeah, well,
and
I
I
mean, it
felt
starts at the bottom because you know from the beginning that both of them are dead, but then like it gives you their journey, them losing their home and their parents, and then living with their aunt
dude,
and
just
uncle who hate
watching
them.
watching his sister slowly deteriorate throughout the whole thing was just oh
That was
So heartbreaking, bro.
so heartbreaking.
Because you know he would do anything to save her, and you just know they're not gonna make it, and it's just, oh, it's so
That's a
sad,
tough
bro.
one to get through. That is
It
a
is,
tough show to get through.
but it makes it so good at the same time. It's just so sad. And
It,
then Steins Gate also is pretty impactful when
yeah, that's
Mayuri.
actually. I'll just skip over my number 7 because mine is also from Steins Gate. When, especially the one that I thought hit the hardest was Mayuri's first death.
Yeah, Mayuri's first death was that hit hard, and then you just understood what was happening. You're like, oh my god.
You're like, oh no, oh no.
I didn't really get because everyone's like, this show is really dark. Just wait, and it was like
It
not.
takes 10, 15 episodes to get to the dark part.
Yeah, and then wow, does it get dark, bro?
It makes sure to flesh out the characters enough that you actually care about them before shit hits the fan.
God, just watching her die over and over and over, no matter what Kiyoma does.
Watching Kiyoma watch her die over and over
Yeah,
was brutal.
just because like she means so much to him, and he just relived her dying so many times.
You get to see him literally just become a completely new man
Yep.
in desperation to save her life.
God, Steins Gate is so good. Wonderful show.
It is a great show. My number 8 is from Seven Deadly Sins, the new season, which I don't believe you've seen yet. But
like episode 5.
It's well, you get Gother's story arc in this season, and this is basically it's Gother's sin is the part that's super impactful. I don't really want to spoil it for you, but basically he's trying to save someone, like he's the sin of lust.
Yeah.
So he's trying to save someone that he met like when he still had his emotions, and he cuts or like he takes out his artificial heart and like cuts her open and tries to put it in her to save her, but then people think that he murdered her.
Oh
and
shit.
it was like not expected from Gother, because like in the beginning, in the early parts of Seven Deadly Sins, like Gother's just kind of an ass.
Yeah.
And when you figure out like why he's that way and like why he has no emotions, it's super depressing actually.
Shit hits different, huh?
It does. It's my favorite arc of Seven Deadly Sins so far, I'd say. So
Yeah,
far, because I feel like the next couple arcs are probably going to hit pretty different.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up Seven Deadly Sins and Code Geass this week, I think.
Yeah, you got to finally finish Code Geass, damn it.
I know I do. I know.
Well, you want to go on with your number 7?
My number 7 is the ending of Fate Zero, when, you know, the Holy Grail is doing all that stuff and overflows and wrecks the city. And Emiya is just like trying to find survivors, and he's just broken. And then he finds Shiro, and he's just so happy. He's like, at least I could save one. And he's just, that part was so sad. It just hit so different for me, at least.
Fate
Especially
Zero was it was just a show that I watched for like, because people say it's amazing, but I don't know, I didn't really get into it. But that was one part that what actually did make an impact.
And then because before that you get to see Emiya's like thinking on how he will really do anything to save the most amount of people. It's kind of fucked up philosophy, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not. It's just he's kind of a deep character, and that ending part, especially after his whole internal struggle with the whole boat scene and what he'll do to save people. I thought that was pretty intense and heavy.
Yeah, the whole after they get into the Holy Grail, and then he gives up his wish. The other guy gets it. Isn't that how it goes? I was very confused on the ending.
Yeah, the ending was kind of confusing. But
then,
yeah,
like the whole world was exploded. Yeah. Either ways. I guess I'll skip over my number 7 because we'd already talked about Steins Gate. So I'll go to my number 6, and that's from Death Parade. The last episode of Death Parade.
What? That's higher on my list than yours? What? You must have seen some sad shit, man.
Yeah. My next ones that are coming up after this are heaters for sure.
Wow.
I mean, you've seen only two of my top 5.
Okay.
For shows, but my number 6 from Death Parade, when he's doing Chiyuki's judgment, his last judgment of the girl that was like his assistant at his bar
That part
for
was so good.
the last how many months, or I don't even know, like it doesn't really give you a very good timeline, but it's been a while. Just to give like a little premise of the story, Decim is an arbiter that has no feelings. He's just a doll that makes decisions to send people to heaven or hell, and he's doing the judgment on the girl that's been with him for the past how long. So he obviously should have like some emotional impact for this girl.
Yeah.
And he does that judgment in a completely different way than any other one. Like,
Dude, what a dick.
that is
God.
that
What a dick
that
move.
whole episode. I was like, this is just cruel.
Dude,
This is so cruel.
It was so cruel. It was done so well. Oh my god.
Because
The emotion portrayed in that scene was unbelievable.
He shows her what her family's life is like after she died.
Oh, what an asshole. He just broke her down to the most fundamental level of human emotion in that show. And she was struggling, going back and forth, like, do I press the button?
She wanted
I
to press it so bad. But the thing was, she had to press the button to bring herself back to life. But the catch was that if she pushed the button, someone else in the world would die.
And it was all a test.
Yeah, it was all a trick.
I really thought that if she pressed the button, she might be reincarnated.
So did I.
But it was just going to send her to the void.
What the whole part of that episode that hit the worst, though, is when she gave up on pushing the button, but then she picked it back up and gave it to Decim and started begging him to push it.
She's like screaming, like, please press the button. I can't do it. Please, like, press the button. And she's just on the ground, a wreck. And then Decim he
finally, like, they have like weird like crosses in their eyes. The crosses disappear, and like the whole world around him just shatters.
Yep. And he
starts crying.
God. How is that your 6, dude? That's my number 2.
I feel like I probably put it down a little too far, to be honest. But I think I put my 3 a little too high. But 4, 2, and 1 are belonging of their spot. They deserve where they're at.
Gotcha. Yeah, Death Parade's so good. That last...
And actually, in Death Parade, you could make an argument for every single episode. There's a part. Like, I thought about mentioning the episode where they like play in the arcade.
Yep.
And then you learn how the guy dies and how like he never appreciated his mom or like his stepmom. I was like, oh my god.
The suicide one?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, so many in every episode, bro. Every episode.
Every episode hits for that show. Every single one.
The most Cloud episode, and even this was impactful, was how the one guy died via explosion.
Yeah.
Because he's a player. Oh, that part was clown.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can go ahead with your number 6.
My 6 is the Eclipse from Berserk. Oh my god. What a climax to one of the best arcs in all of fiction. The Golden Age arc in Berserk.
Is the Golden Age arc the ones covered in like the 3 movie series?
Yeah. Yep.
And is that like the beginning arc?
Yep, it's the beginning arc. I think the Golden Age arc starts on like volume 3 of Berserk. Because the first 3 volumes happen after, and then you understand why Guts is the way he is. And oh my fucking god. Oh my god. It's just an absolute bloodbath. The most fucked up shit happens, bro. You have no idea.
Because I've really been debating picking up or watching the movies, or like the movies that are on Netflix, the CGI ones.
Yeah, they're not bad. It's just like,
but I don't want to miss any like the story. Like I don't want it to be out of order.
It's not out of order really, because even the 1997 version, I think it starts with the Golden Age arc, and that was actually really good. They were done better than the movies, but the movies get the point across. Like I enjoyed the movies.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching the movies and then reading the manga because I don't
It,
think I want to pick up the 98 or yeah, the 98 version.
it's one of the most fucked up things in all of anime is the eclipse. Poor Guts. He chops off his. This is how he loses his arm. He cuts it off. He actually like rips it off.
I didn't
It's
know he
wild.
lost his arm.
He loses his arm, bro. It gets caught in a demon's mouth, and there's something very fucked up going on right in front of his face. And he just starts stabbing his arm with his sword. Like it's like a sliced off like half of a sword, and then he just rips his arm off and goes crazy. He ends up losing an eye too, man.
I did know he lost an eye.
It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. Oh,
Berserk
stuff.
is a show, or it's one that I really wish got a faithful adaptation because I think I'd really enjoy it, but I don't have the money to invest into manga.
Right, it'd be one of the best anime of all time if it got a good adaptation because a lot of people consider it the single best manga of all time. It's good.
It's the most like sorrowful seinen out there, isn't it? Like
yeah, it's fucked up. Everything bad that can happen to Guts happens. Everything. There's no character in any sort of fiction that has a harder life than Guts.
That's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Loses everyone. Yep. Like he's just bro. It's so fucked.
It's like it's like the classic shonen trope where he loses everyone times a million.
Times a million, and like his whole upbringing is just darkness and sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing good happens to this man besides in the Golden Age arc. Oh my god! Oh, Berserk is so fucking good. Everything gets taken away from Guts. He's not allowed to experience happiness ever. He never is allowed to experience happiness. It's like literally every time he finds joy in anything, it gets taken away. Every single time. Every time. It never fails. Fate is just gonna fuck Guts over.
I need to start reading that or something.
You do. You really do.
After I finish One Piece, well, I guess I won't be finishing One Piece anytime soon because it's still going.
I'm almost caught up, bro.
Maybe after I hit the time skip in One Piece. I got like 200 more chapters before that, but I can pump that out pretty quick.
You have like 400 more chapters.
It's in like 700 is the time skip?
Oh no, it's like 600.
Oh, then I have like 300 because I'm at like 310 right now.
Yeah, you're coming up on some of the best arcs in all of One Piece, actually.
I'm excited. And even like the beginning arc, every arc in One Piece is not bad.
You literally go an absolute heater 10 out of 10 arc in Water 7, heater 10 out of 10 arc in Enies Lobby. Then you go to Thriller Bark, which is like a 7.5 on the One Piece scale. It's still a good arc. And then you have Sabaody Archipelago, bomb. Then you have Boa Hancock's arc, which is pretty good. And then you have Impel Down and Marineford, and holy fucking shit. So good. All right.
Are those like kind of mini arcs? Or because I feel like there's only been like 3 arcs and I'm 300 chapters in.
They're kind of small arcs, but they're the best arcs. They're like 50 chapter arcs.
That's good. They're looking for a carpenter right now and where I'm at.
Oh yeah, Frankie, my boy, he's coming up. All right, you can take it away with your next one.
All right, my next one is the biggest sleeper on this list. The biggest sleeper of all time, I'd say. Moomin Rider versus the Sea King.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
My God, when he is like his bicycle, when he throws his bicycle at him, I don't remember what it's called. It's like bicycle charge or something. It's funny and like sad at the same time. Because he has
Messiah,
like
Moomin
he's
Rider.
coming in, he's a class C hero. Like you know he has absolutely zero chance against this giant sea monster. But then there's still like all the people in that giant arena that are like out there that they also know there's like no chance that this C class hero is gonna take this guy down. But then like one kid starts like cheering for him and then they all start cheering for him and then he just gets pummeled. And Saitama catches him and he's like, good work. And I was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was so. I love Moomin Rider.
Moomin Rider is my favorite character in One Punch Man. I think
Dude, he can ride his bike standing up. Dude's the goat.
he can.
That actually was pretty impactful. Moomin Rider just he'll sacrifice his body for the greater good, man.
He will. He's the ideal hero. He's the guy. He just wants to save people.
Yeah.
He's just a good guy. There is a theory that he is Blast. There's a theory that like damn near everyone in the freaking show is Blast.
Yeah, there is a theory. There's a lot of Blast theories. I think
it's Saitama.
I think it could be Saitama, but I also think that it'd be kind of cool if they did something like when Saitama becomes like the number one hero and then he finally meets Blast, but like Blast is also going to be a hero, so then he has to like debate if he should fight him because he wants like a fun fight or if he should just not because he's a hero.
I saw a lot.
I saw that theory somewhere and I thought that would be pretty
I think I watched the same theory. And then they thought that that's kind of how it was going to end, that he would like finally have the chance to fight someone that's like going to actually challenge him and have fun. But then he realizes that I'm fine the way I am. I've finally like made friends, because you can see he's starting to like make friends with King and Genos, obviously.
He starts to become not as depressed and doesn't suffer as much because he's super strong. But I want to see him fight Blast, so fuck that theory.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. There's like a fan made one where he fights God.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then like after he has no powers because like it's God that's granting him powers, or like removed his limiter. That one was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was pretty interesting. That's a that was such a sleeper, AK. Way to throw that in there. That was clever.
Love that part.
Yeah, that is a good part.
Love that part.
God, One Punch Man's so good. Like, Genos is going crazy, just gets murked by the Sea King, and then you get Moomin Rider's whole beatdown, and then Saitama just comes up, punches his ass, stops the rain,
and then
with a punch.
He still like doesn't get credit for it because they're like, oh, it must not have been as strong as they thought it was because this C-class hero came and killed it in one punch.
That was a good part. Should I go with my number 5?
Go for it.
My number 5, and it honestly, looking back on it, it's probably not it probably wouldn't be here. It's Nami's backstory, but this is like the start of how you see, this is like the start of you seeing how good of a person Luffy is and how he will do anything for his friends. Nami's like backstory and the whole, that part is just, I love that part so much because you see Nami breaking down after you realize everything that Arlong's done for her, and she finally gets the money
to she's like 7 million berries away or something.
Yep, and then he just shits on her because Arlong's a fucking ass. And then she's sitting there and just trying to cut off her tattoo, her Arlong brand, with a knife. And then Luffy comes up and she's crying and she's like refuses Luffy's help, just keeps refusing Luffy's help. And then like her arm's bleeding, she's just breaking down crying, and she just looks at Luffy and says, "Help me." And he just puts his fucking straw hat on her head and then proceeds to just go fuck up Arlong. That part was so good, bro.
That part was pretty sick. I got a little bit of chills thinking about it.
Right, dude? Oh, so good. Oh my god. And then this is just the start of all of Luffy's good moments, helping out his friend. No matter what they're going through, he's always there to help. Like, there's this part right now where, like, Sanji's in a little bit of a predicament. And he, like, says something to Luffy, like, I'm not going to say anything, actually. This is a really good part. And Luffy's like, no, it's fine, Sanji. I'll fight anyone. I'll fight anyone in the world for you. I'll go back to the East Blue and I will protect anyone you need. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm just like, fucking A, Luffy. You're such a good guy.
Luffy's like, the greatest captain of all time.
Like, because I think his main goal is, like, obviously to be the, you know, king of the pirates and find the One Piece. But what's more important to him is helping out his friends. And he would easily give up being the pirate king to help out any one of his crewmates. Even if they're not, you'll see this in the Boa Hancock's arc. Even if they're not his crewmate, he would rather give up being the pirate king to not sacrifice his ideals and his morals.
Yeah.
And it's just, that starts like that whole thing starts with Nami's backstory and that Nami moment, which is why it carries so much weight with me.
Finally, in the like, it's in the part in One Piece where you finally hit an arc that actually moves you significantly.
Yep.
Other than Usopp's arc is before Nami, right?
Yeah.
That one, I mean, I just didn't like the guy that like does this weird dance and like moves super fast.
Yeah, that villain sucked. But yeah, that's what I got to say about my number 5.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick switcheroo on my number 3 and my number 4 because I don't think number 3 deserves that spot. So I'm gonna move to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Mustang at the funeral.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
It's a bad day for Rain.
Oh,
One of the most iconic scenes in all of anime.
I forgot about that. That totally blew my mind. I spaced on that one. Yeah, that was a great.
I thought
moment.
That was gonna be like in your top 5.
It should be. I forgot about it. That would
one of the most iconic emotional moments.
I'm gonna put that at 4
anime.
And bump everything else down 1. That's what I'm gonna do. Hughes' funeral. Oh man. Yeah,
he gets his revenge though.
He does, and he goes crazy.
That's one of the rarities in anime where revenge is actually like he feels fulfilled after he got his revenge.
Yeah.
Because usually they try to do like the double meaning where like you get revenge but it never feels as good as you want it to. But he seems pretty goddamn happy after he gets his revenge.
Yeah, but Envy's a fucking cuck.
Yeah, it is Envy.
Yeah, it is Envy. Yeah, Envy's a cuck. Bitch.
I'm surprised you didn't think of that one.
I totally forgot about it. That's such a good moment. He just tilts his hat down. She's like, it's not raining. Yes, it is. A tear just goes down Mustang's face. The Chadliest tear of all time.
Very depressing tear right there.
Yeah, that was a good one, AK. Goddamn. Now I feel dumb for not including that on here, but I'm glad you brought it up.
You're such an idiot.
I know, right? That was dumb of me, but it happens. It happens to the best of us.
It does. You're number 4 then?
Number 4 from one of the best anime of all time. Fuck you, AK. It's from Gurren Lagann. Episode 8, I believe.
I was wondering why you said fuck you, AK.
Kamina's death was, oh my god. It
happened a lot earlier in the show than I thought it was going to.
It was just, bro, it was wonderful. I think Kamina's role with his death, it's just irreplaceable to the story. Although I'm pretty sure he died in episode 8 or something like that.
It's 7 or 8.
His death carried and changed the series. Like his
it changed Simone.
It changed Simone. It changed the whole story. And his philosophies and stuff are basically what kept the story going. He was a major driving point, and his death was done so well.
Believe in the me that believes in you.
Yeah, it's just
what I thought
so
was
heavy,
really funny about Gurren Lagann was that like Simone was in a super depressed state for a long time and just fighting because he could and not really like he just didn't care about the world anymore. And then one girl his age shows up and his whole life is just like he doesn't even know this girl and he just does a total 180. I thought that was kind of funny.
That was pretty funny. It's just like Kamina's death was just the changing point for Simone.
It was a changing point for the whole series.
Yeah, and like Simone realizing his own potential and taking on Kamina's beliefs of just like keep going. Pierce the heavens with your drill, Simone, you fucking gangster. Gurren Lagann's so good.
You put a little bit more stock into it than I do, but I will agree that it's pretty damn good.
Super damn good. I don't know how. It's one of the best anime of all time.
I guess I like a more concrete storyline than that, but
yeah, you dive into stuff deeper than I do, though.
True.
I just am along for the ride. But I feel like Gurren Lagann has a little something for everyone. And I feel like in most people's lists, it's going to be in their top 20.
I'd say I mean, it's probably like hanging around 19 or low teens for me. High
Yeah.
teens. I don't know which direction you go for that. Like around 18, 19.
Yeah.
Number
So-
3. This is another show that I'll never watch again because I'm afraid to hurt again like that. And that is
Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Is it Your Lie in April?
No, that actually didn't make my list.
Is it Clanad?
No, that's coming up.
Yeah, fuck. Okay, go.
It is Anohana.
Oh,
The end of
Anohana. Haven't
Anohana.
seen it.
Anohana, the end of Anohana. You don't know anything about Anohana, do you?
No, I have no idea what it's about. I don't think I've seen a single clip. I have no idea.
I'll kind of explain the premise of it. I can't really spoil anything in the show because it's not really a show that, like, I would say has spoilers, which is weird to say, but I don't think me saying anything about it will really ruin the impact of the show.
Yep.
So it's this group of like 5 kids were like the best of friends in when they're like children, like 5 to 6 to 7 years old.
Yep.
And there was one of them that dies, like drowns. So the premise of the story is that the main character, whose name is Jintan, is like probably took it the worst out of everybody and like kind of became a recluse. And like it fast forwards to their middle school or high school, I don't remember which one, doesn't really make any difference, but he doesn't go to school anymore and he just like stays at home and play video games. And the girl that died like shows up as like a ghost,
Yep.
but it's not like a scary ghost. It's like, or like there's no character differences between before she died and after.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole story is that like getting these people back together, like their friends.
Yep.
And everybody just kind of like they go along with it, but everybody kind of thinks that Jintan is just like a lunatic for saying that this girl is with them.
Yep.
Or that she's like right next to him when obviously like nobody else can see her.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the last episode, she like, I don't remember if she runs away or something, but then they all start believing that she's actually there, and due to other circumstances that hit different, but I'm not going to talk about that because that might be a little spoiler, but they find her under a tree, and it's the first time they all actually can see her.
Wait, they find her body?
No, not her body. Like, they see her ghost for
Oh,
the first
gotcha.
time. Her body was found when she died. Like,
Okay.
she was already buried. When they all finally see her and they all finally, like, forgive, because they all kind of think that her death is each of their own faults.
Uh-huh.
So when they all finally, like, forgive themselves, they all see her, and then she, like, disappears.
Damn.
And then there's the song that plays. I think if you played it right now, I'd start tearing up. Like, it's
It's that impactful. I gotta watch it.
it's only 12 episodes, 13 episodes.
Gotcha.
It's super, super impactful. I mean, it's kind of more towards the slice of life genre.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much you'd like that, but it's very
I gotta do it for
impactful.
the culture.
You gotta get the culture, my man.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of those shows that you can only watch once.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it hits.
It just hits heavy.
It does. You can go ahead with your number 3.
My number 3. Gotta keep the One Piece grind going, man. My number 3 is Robin's backstory.
Isn't
You're
that in
getting there.
Enizabi?
Yes, and I do not want. I'm not barely gonna talk about this because I'm gonna let you experience this shit for your fucking self. Sometimes, dude, it just takes a bunch of 16-year-olds to save a 28-year-old who's in distress.
Oh, I forgot that she's that much older. Because she
Yeah.
doesn't, like, they don't seem like they're that big of an age gap. But now that I think of it, like, she's just kind of like a middle-aged woman hanging out with a bunch of
AK, you are gonna
mid-teenagers.
get chills when you see this part.
I'm excited.
Oh!
How many chapters until I, like, get to that, would you say?
Probably 100.
I'm gonna pump through 100 chapters after this. After we finish recording, I'm gonna get to it.
It just hits different, but it just hits so different. It's amazing. So I'm gonna let you experience that for yourself because you're gonna snap me and be like, "Oh my god, that was so well done." So yeah, take it away with your 3. I don't. wanna
My
say
number
anything
3
else.
was my last one, was
Oh,
Anohana.
take away 2.
My number 2 is from my favorite movie of all time, A Silent Voice. I think it's like my number 3 or 4 on my top 10 anime.
Yeah.
You don't really know a whole lot of the premise of the story, do you?
Nope.
So there's this deaf girl that was like bullied in elementary school, and then she ends up getting bullied so bad that she like moves schools.
Mhm.
And this guy that bullied her basically gets blamed and then shunned and then bullied. So like he gets the tables turned on him.
Yeah.
But like before he was like the cool kid,
Mhm.
and like everybody was not, it wasn't just him that was bullying her, it was everybody. And then like the movie starts off with him basically about to commit suicide.
Huh.
About to jump off a bridge and commit suicide. But this is just laying the groundwork. This isn't the part that hit the worst. It's when, so that he finally like becomes friends with this girl that he bullied after he finds her again. And then towards the end, it's kind of like a parallel to the beginning. She tries to commit suicide.
Oh wow.
I don't really want to spoil what goes on with that, because that might, I want you to watch the show, and everybody that's
If it's a
listening to
movie,
this
I'll
should,
probably watch it.
it's a movie. It's a longer movie. It's like 2.5 hours. But I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody, because the ending is super depressing. And well, it's not really depressing. It's like kind of uplifting but sad.
Mhm.
But it's when a specific part happens right at towards the end, it makes you tear up for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching that if it's a movie.
I think you'd like it. It's got no action or any stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the camera angles and everything, or it's weird to say camera angles in an anime, but the way they animate it in such a way that it makes it look, it's just done so well. It's by
Yeah.
Kyoto Animation, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, they do a good job. I've heard good things about it. It's pretty popular.
All right, you can go ahead with your number 2.
My number 2 is Death Parade.
Death.
We already
Oh, is
talked
it?
a bunch about that. Yeah. My number 1, AK. Oh, you're gonna die. Okay. You can go with your 1 since we already talked about Death Parade.
You want to take a guess at what my number 1 is? I mean,
Clannad.
obviously,
Story.
Clannad
Yeah.
After Story ending. I die inside. It is the most heartbreaking ending of anything ever. Oh my god. I can't even explain how heartbreaking this ending is.
Damn.
I'll try to explain it in a way that it won't spoil you. I don't even know how to explain this in a way that it won't spoil you. Huh. Somebody dies, and you don't want that person to die.
It just
And-
wrecks everything. just
Yeah.
emotionally.
I'm not going to say anything about this show because it is a necessity. I know a lot of people don't, especially people that might watch this podcast, might not be super interested in your slice of life genre, but this is a show that you just need to watch because it's honestly, it's like it just hits so hard. And
Yeah.
you need to watch it after you finish Code Geass, after you finish a lot of different things, because you're
once
slacking.
I might go on a little slice of life binge once I get caught up on One Piece. Which
I
I'm
wrote
very
you up a
close.
schedule. You just got to follow that schedule, the clan ad. Clan ad's at the end.
Yeah, I might skip around the schedule a little bit, but I'll do it. My number one, I can't even really talk about because I don't want to spoil it for you. It's another One Piece moment.
Damn it.
But I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say what my number one is. It's so clown. Let's just say this number one moment does not have to do with a person.
Oh, is it fucking Going Merry?
Oh, the Mary! Oh my god! Personally, I'm not even kidding. That moment in One Piece is one of the saddest moments throughout the whole thing.
That's what your number one is?
That is my number one, AK.
I
had a manly tear watching that and reading that. I'm not even kidding. I swear to God.
I guess I haven't hit it yet, but I just can't see myself, like, caring.
Oh, you're gonna fucking care, AK. The Sunny is part of the crew. She is an absolute beauty, and she is the GOAT. AK, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
I feel like that's not like a spoiler for anybody though, because if you know what One Piece is, unless you're like are oblivious to the world around you.
Yeah, you know they get the Sunny.
You know they go to the Thousand Sunny.
Yeah. AK, it is ridiculous.
I mean, I know there's a big fight between Luffy and Usopp over it.
The Cloboterman something is you got to see a little piece of the Mary actually in Skypiea. Remember the part where something is working on the ship?
Yeah.
I
didn't know if they were ever gonna say anything about it.
Oh, it's coming.
Did they say something about it?
It hits different. I want you to read it. I want you to read that part in the manga, and then I want you to watch it in the anime, and you are going to be broken. I'm not even kidding.
Wow, maybe it just isn't what I'm expecting at all. Because I thought that just like the ship was wrecked basically, and they needed a new one.
It's so much different than that, bro. It's like I've lost a piece of my soul.
That's how I felt with Clannad.
It's ridiculous.
Lost a piece of my soul.
Part of the reason it's number one is because I never thought that an inanimate. I guess I can't even say that. I never thought that a ship would make me shed a tear, and this ship made me shed a fucking tear. And you just see how attached everyone is to the Mary and how she's part of the crew, and it's just unbelievable.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
She is the OG. She's the start of the adventure.
Yeah. Before that, they didn't have one, so
yeah, it's
just riding around in a little dinghy.
My sleeper of a number one pick. Sorry, my list is filled with One Piece. It's just so good.
I mean, One Piece is a great manga.
It's not an Undercover Weebs podcast if we don't talk about One Piece.
No kidding. No, I want you to choose right now between Berserk and One Piece. Which one do you like better?
I'm going to say One Piece because I'm more into it. But they're probably... Oh, fuck. They're so good. Manga-wise, it's definitely those two.
Mashle is the greatest manga of all time.
Mashle's so fucking good. Holy shit. Seriously, get a Viz account and go read Mashle, people. It is unbelievable.
If they cancel Mashle, shit will hit. Like, I'm going to outrage.
It's one of the funniest. It is literally hilarious. One of the funniest manga. It's so hilarious. Mashle, Mash Van Dead is fucking funny. The premise is just a Harry Potter parody. It's great.
I love it. I love the show so much.
Like, it's so good.
He's just such an idiot, but like, it's so creative. Some of the fights.
Hamstring magic.
He just bamboozles everybody because he's basically Saitama strength in a world of magic, but he has no magic.
That show is so funny. That needs to get a hilarious anime. They need to get like a really like a very like they need a voice actor for Vash or for Mash that is just like monotone.
Yeah,
just like it'd be so funny. God, that show's
I think that
manga's great.
if that stays in serialization, it's got to get an anime. Cuz it's like kind of on the same lines as like a One Punch Man kind of like comedy. So you'd think that someone's going to animate it.
Someone will animate it. It's fucking hilarious.
It's awesome.
The last episode is fire.
I just thought of a part of a show that was quite impactful and emotional that I forgot to put in my honorable mention, so I want to mention it now.
Yeah.
And that is from Parasite when I believe her name is like Kana, the girl that basically likes Shinichi, gets murdered. That was
yeah,
pretty deep.
that was pretty heavy. And then even Shinichi's the death of his parents, that was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Parasite's good. It's kind of slept on. I don't understand why.
I don't really know either. It
Like,
just didn't get the publicity.
No, and it's such an interesting concept. The animation's done well. It's great.
Yeah, it's the first time that I think it's the first time that we've actually like significantly shown our difference in tastes.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I got one. I got
but-
one actually.
What's that?
It's from Trigun when Vash actually he kills someone for the first time.
I could see how that would be
He is just
impactful.
broken inside. He like doesn't even know what to do. It's like he doesn't even want to live anymore because his ideals just got shit on.
That's tough.
It is tough.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh! I forgot to mention this. I was gonna mention this right at the beginning. Kind of a meme or sleeper. The beginning of the movie Up.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie Up was fucking sad as
That
shit.
was so depressing. Oh
I
my
literally-
God.
The first time watching Up, I literally was just like, what, bro? What is this
It's a
movie?
children's movie and they drop that on you? Like, come on, man. Pixar's just being dirty with it.
Who's cutting onions in the first 5 minutes of a movie? Come on.
Yeah.
Pixar. Have you seen
Up is amazing,
what's that
though,
movie?
actually.
Have you seen that movie with all like the emotions are like in that little girl's head? What is that movie called?
It's not the Emoji Movie.
No. It's
I know
Anyways,
what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it, no.
yeah, anyways, that's like a Disney Pixar movie and there's a death in that movie. It's sad. It's really sad actually. Oh, I can't remember his name. Bing Bong. Oh, rip Bing Bong, bro. Bing Bong was a G.
Bing Bong, huh?
Part hit different.
Yeah, well, I think we've gotten a little bit sidetracked here, so
Yeah, so
We
thanks
can
for watching, guys.
call it an
Episode
episode.
8 in the books.
yeah,
100
I mean, my idea for next episode was I bought a game online, the card game. Maybe have a special guest on.
Yeah.
It's an anime card game. I think it'll be great. We might do another Tipsy Tales.
Another little
We'll
drinking
see what-
session.
See what our schedules have availability for, but
That's the plan as of right now. We might have something else coming up, but we'll do the tipsy card game at some point, even if it's not next week.
it'll be a fun time. I'm excited.
It will be. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Episode 8 in the books. Stay tuned for hundreds of more.
See ya.
Later.